Like to call Triton School Board November 20th, 2023 meeting order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Recognition of any visitors? I did not have any requests tonight. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion from Dale, second from Rebecca. Andy, or Dwayne?
Yeah, Dwayne,
Dwayne, sorry.
no problem.
Second from Rebecca. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Cobra Pride. All right. By luck. He just happens to be here with us.
It wasn't planned.
I just wanted to recognize our teacher of the year, Mart Lang. Mart's been with us, what, 26 years? And has taught a variety of different things. I always like telling the story because she's had my children, and it just always appreciated the willingness of her to look for things to push and stretch kids beyond with their even if they're little rambunctious, finds things for them to do. And I always tell the story when Deacon was in kindergarten, this is my first kid in school, and she's like, doing really good, but I need to find some things to keep me busy. So she had like 6 boys, and she did this little activity where she sent them out and about in pairs with flashlights, and one would shine a flashlight on an object, and then the other one would talk about it with them. And I was just like, that is just such an awesome example of scaffolding and doing what's needed for kids. So it's always been one of my favorite stories to tell about Mart. So just thank you for all you've done for our district, and appreciate it. A motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Motion from Jim, second from Wendy. Any questions, comments? I did just want to note in the study session minutes, Dale called the meeting to order. That was. Anyway, any other questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business 7.1, discuss and approve 2023-2024 snow removal quote. We did have 3 bids, talked with Dave. The one that he would like to go with is the cheapest one. And he actually has talked with the gentleman. They actually have some equipment that they want to leave here on site. So felt like that was a good situation. One of the people that's bid on the past missed the deadline, so that happens, but I think that they're getting busy with some other things, so it was maybe not a priority either. And I think Dave's looking that this person will probably be more, this will be more of a primary, help right away. And then maybe just assign them areas versus, because sometimes in the morning, it's like, what do you get done first? And then work on the other areas where I think he's got a good plan with this gentleman on how they can get after certain areas and get them done right away and not have to deal with any cars. So, yeah, any questions on that? I can't remember. Boyum, yes, thank you. Curtin, Boyum Tree Services, yeah. Curtin Grad? Yeah. So my recommendation would be to approve the snow removal quote from Boyum Tree Service.
Make a motion to approve the quote from Boyum Tree Service. Second.
Motion from Brian, second from Jim. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 7.2, discuss and approve Triton Education Minnesota contract for 2023 to 2025.
So this would be the teacher's contract. And they voted and they're in favor, so moving forward.
I'll move to approve. Second.
Motion from Jim, second from Dale. For 7.2, any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 7.3, discuss and approve Education Minnesota Triton School Employees Contract for 2023-2025 through 2025.
Yep, and I got word from the union steward on this that they had approved it, and I did not get the vote on it. I just that they approved it.
I heard they passed it too. I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion from Dwayne, second from Brian. For 7.3, any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 7.4, discuss and approve final certified staff seniority list for 2023 to 2024.
We've had no request for changes since the last preliminary vote.
I'll make a motion to approve the certified staff seniority list. I'll second.
Motion from Wendy, second from Rebecca. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 7.5, discuss and approve finals classified staff seniority list for 2023-2024.
The same with this. I've had no requests for changes. It's as is.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion from Dwayne, second from Wendy for 7.5. Any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 7.6, appoint Principal Shane Van Beek as LEA representative.
Shane gets to do it again. He's happy. We're happy. We have to appoint one every year.
What's involved with that?
A big thing of it is the Title I, Title II and III grants. I do that grant and I have to be an OEA to do that.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve 7.6. Second.
Motion from Jim, second from Dale. For 7.6, any questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discuss and approve resolution of governing board supporting Form A application to Minnesota State High School League Foundation.
Anything you want to add to this, Corey? It is a resolution, so we'll have to do a resolution vote, but
Yeah, so just in the, in the past, was basically two grants that we're asking for. This one is where the same amount of money is given to all of the schools that applied, more or less. We've used this to help help subsidize both participation costs, so like the $100 fee that we have, as well as any equipment needs that we've needed in the past.
I'll make a motion to approve 7.7.
Motion from Rebecca, second from Jim. Any questions, comments? It's a resolution, so Rebecca,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Dale,
Yes.
Dwayne,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
and yes for myself. Resolution passes. Enrollment update.
we're at 895 in K-12. We started the year at 904, so we're down 9. That's pretty typical this time of year. We have a lot of part-time students that come at the beginning of the year and then move. So, yeah, that's our number. I got an idea that I'm gonna talk to you about in my report.
Any
Yeah.
question?
At what number does it start becoming critical? If you will. Where you, sorry, there.
Last year. I mean, I feel like the cuts that we made last year were in response to the enrollment, and I feel like we are going to have to look at more cuts. Because without students, we don't have the revenue.
So if we stayed right there, would we still be good, or is there another? Line in the sand you're looking at, if you will, where if we reach that number, then we have to make more cuts?
I think it's too early to say that. But what we do each year is we come up with an enrollment projection, and we have projected that number to be lower. It's just that it keeps getting lower than what we're projecting. At some point, you know, I call it right sizing. We're gonna need to continue to right size with staff. Because that's really the only cuts there are to make is staffing cuts. I mean, we're not gonna make that up in paper clips and supplies, if you will. So looking at the number of sections and the number of students in classes is going to be an important. And I've been doing that with admin and looking, you know, kind of down the road where we're at, where we're going. But the elementary right now is at a point where we're almost 3 sections in every grade level. We just have one grade level that's 4 sections. So
It doesn't help, but we're not alone in this. At our last Ed meeting, we had a discussion, the chair either starts or ends the meeting, we go around the table and discuss things. Well, contracts were one, but anyway, enrollment came up. Byron, Blooming Prairie wasn't there, so I can't speak for them, but Byron was the only district that's growing. Stewartville's, they graduated more than were coming in. Casson even said they're down. So everybody's, yeah.
people are having fewer kids. And it's the good news is we're built for more. And we don't have to worry about facilities right now. So there is a positive to it. You know, I think that our district could easily handle 1,300 students. It's just a matter of, it would be nice to get more in.
Them apartments got filled up, didn't they? They're gonna build another.
At some point,
No.
right away, but yeah. And then, you know, and that's the thing too, that you're seeing a lot more of too, is a lot more apartment buildings. I mean, they've been building those in Casson now too.
Well, with that filling up, our enrollment would have grown, but not the case.
Any other question? Student council report.
Yeah, so we just, got done with trick or canning, which, for our food drive, and we, raised about 812 pounds of food for, the food shelf. We also just, went to SEG, which is basically a student council convention for like the surrounding schools. We also had the color run, we raised, about $400 for NAMI. And right now we're planning for, in December, we're gonna do adopt a family. And military baskets, where we basically send gifts to family members in the military for Christmas. So yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. Zed report. Yeah, we had a meeting last Thursday. Well, let's see. I guess it asked Craig, go through some of the director's report. Can you bring up the numbers or not?
No, I
No,
didn't put those in there.
Yeah, the birth to three is expanding or increasing and they're. We did hire, I believe, yeah, we did hire a person last time. They're getting more help. I don't know if you can see it. When he sends you the report, or I can get you copies,
I'll send you the enrollment one and the update.
but, and.
You want to talk about the nature preserve?
And then the nature preserve, I guess that's supposedly, I guess by next fall, it should be done. That's what the building's supposed to look like. They keep having our name and Caston's name involved with it, but yeah. But they're working on paths now, I guess, Patrick said, and
I can see when they call it Dodge County, you think they throw. Eagles name in there also, it's Dodge County.
yeah. Why?
And Casson has to approve the joint powers and then that'll be done.
Tonight, yeah, they're to vote on it tonight and then we'll
Move
do
forward.
it in December.
Probably gonna pass.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Then he just shared some of the pictures of the people. So we have Bailey, the top left and the bottom left, Crystal are the two that work with Triton, are the school psychologists. So basically, if you think about it, there's 3 schools on I-14 and there's 3 schools on I-30. And that's kind of the split between the Z schools.
Oh, and next summer, see Hayfield and the summer extended school.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see Hayfield and is it Byron? Shoot, I forgot it.
I believe so. But they typically have one on I-14 and one on I-30 for the said summer school, extended school year. So that rotates. So basically we end up with that every 3 years.
Any questions? The lease, so the agreement with the building passed. Yeah, we approved that. Otherwise, if there's any question. AD report.
Good evening, everybody. Just wanted to recognize some of our programs for their academic progress and their athletic prowess going forward. The volleyball team earned the academic all-state gold rating, which is having an average team GPA of 10 students of above 3.75. So I believe that we came in at about 3.84, which is awesome. On top of that, the girls soccer team earned a rating of academic all-state silver, which is above 3.5, and I think that they were somewhere like right around 3.65 when we did the final thing. So when you talk about having recognition for their work in the classroom, I think this is an awesome thing. At the state volleyball tournament, Triton's name was going through on the big display in the center of the Xcel Energy Center as being a gold, hitting the gold standard academically. So that's awesome and something that Coach Essig should be really proud of. And as everybody knows, Coach Nesseth in the football program were the Section 2 AA champions. I think that was an incredibly proud moment for a lot of people in Janesville that night. It was pretty awesome. Jim, I know you were there. That last play was pretty epic as far as just watching our sideline kind of go crazy, and it was a lot of fun to follow them on their long playoff run. So a lot of fun, a lot to be proud of, both in the classroom and on the field here this fall. I'm pretty quick tonight, but as we talked about in the resolution, there's the MSHSL Foundation grant. We'll once again kind of add that cash back into our funds to help support our students be able to participate in extracurriculars. If they need any equipment or anything like that. Additionally, with the Form B, remember last year, we asked for $5,000 for us to have the keynote speaker come for our fall eligibility night. Well, this year we've asked for an $1,800 grant for us to be able to get the virtual teaching. So in order for us to kind of do some community outreach with it, we can get some licenses for us to be able to have that speech be given in more of an intimate way, with people being able to have an online version of it that they can have access to. So just another way for us to outreach to families and outreach for coaches to be able to have coaches and advisors to kind of be able to hear that over and over again to kind of drive some of those points home, which I think will be a really good thing for us. We had to go for conference leadership training where we took 9 students from grades 7 through 10 to Maple River. It was a great day where they learned some stuff, and it was kind of fun to hear them on the bus ride back, just with some of the little tokens of knowledge that they brought home on that. We had the fall play with Miss Holmes. I thought it was an awesome job by Jennifer Rigg and that whole cast there. It was a great play. I think it was interesting for me to kind of see the same thing over and over and over again. When you kind of know what to expect, you can kind of pick up on some of the punchlines, but I thought they did a very good job of especially picking up on the British kind of drier humor at times with it as well. So fun to hear the English and British accents. I kind of thought I was going crazy when I was in there for rehearsals and everybody's talking in the accent. It's like, oh my gosh, what's going on here, right? The next thing is just the winter sports. We're in the full swing of that with dance, boys and girls basketball, wrestling, hockey. Everything's rocking and rolling right now. So it's been a lot of fun. The MHS induction was last Tuesday, and then last but not least, I'll be sending out a volleyball interest form here next Tuesday for us to kind of gauge the number of student athletes that we would have for boys volleyball in the spring, which will kind of guide us on what our next steps will be with the integration of that becoming a spring sport. So,
Was anybody reaching out saying, yeah, this can be good or bad?
I think that when we're talking with student athletes, I think there's some interest there. I don't know if we would have enough for multiple levels of like a varsity and a JV kind of action there, but I think that we would be able to get 10 or more students who'd be interested in participating in that. So, and that'll kind of push us whether we need to pursue some form of a co-op or whether we want to be a standalone program. I think we kind of will be able to get a better understanding of where we need to go after we kind of get some numbers back from that. Any other questions?
Well, maybe it's too early then, whether those would be new athletes or taken from another sport.
My guess is that'd be a combination of both. I think that I know of at least 3 or 4 students who don't participate in this spring sport right now that would want to participate, but obviously you'd probably be competing with our track and baseball programs primarily in the spring. So it's the catch-22 of it all, right? Perfect. Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank you. Principals report. Reports.
It feels like it's a little bit.
Moving forward, we'd like to do our principals update collectively. I know a lot of times when we stand in front of you, it's kind of redundant. We're saying the same stuff at the elementary, middle and high school. So we're gonna give this a try.
And if you can tell by the lovely theme, believe it or not, that was the elementary school principal that put this very lovely presentation together for us, yes.
I never would have thought that. All right, so we had a couple items that we wanted to talk about. First off, Terrence Talley. So Luke, you want to take us through last Wednesday in our Terrence Talley?
Yeah, I definitely will. Was a very different day, but a very impactful day. I'm not sure if any of you made it into the evening presentation or not. I could say I saw a little bit of the presentation. The elementary school went in 2 groups, I believe. And then we had the 9 through 12 group and then the middle school in the afternoon. And what impressed me more than anything was the variation between the programs. I think Mr. Schlichting, you probably saw a couple of those presentations. I have to tell you, it definitely caught me off guard and surprised me. The presentation itself, at the beginning of the presentation, was extremely energetic and upbeat and very fun. You may have seen some pictures or videos. We had some staff that were on the stage doing some dance moves. So obviously, the students were extremely engaged, but his message was basically to the 9 through 12 students that you matter, you make a difference. I have your back. We're here to support each other. And there was a portion of the segment where the students stood up and walked to the front where the staff were, and they had an exchange there as well. So it was impactful for me. And I believe for our students and staff as well. And I think it was time well spent for sure.
And we did have almost probably 200 people in the evening, which
Nice.
most I've seen at a open session like that. And I think a lot of it was because the kids enjoyed it so much. Number of the parents that Jim was standing by me, a number of the parents were coming and they're like, my kid told me we had to come back. We're here. So it was good to see that the kids enjoyed it so much that they wanted their parents to come in the evening.
It's one of those things, when you're taking instructional time, right? You want to make sure whatever you're bringing in, whether it's an assembly, a program, a speaker, you want to make sure it adds value. Because a change of schedule, and all that, but, the students I felt responded well and believe it was time well spent and a good investment for our school and students.
A lot of fun. Mrs. Johnson, you want to talk little conferences?
Sure, yeah. So we had our conferences last Tuesday. And I think it was a great night. We had about 50 of our middle school families show up for the conferences. And then we had an hour at the end where we call them our grade level intervention conferences. So that is when we reached out to families, we really wanted to see those families, and we wanted to sit around a table with all of their teachers and have one conversation versus a parent going to different tables in the cafeteria. So we had 9 of those intervention conferences at the end, and those were great conversations with the families where we came up with strategies to improve performance at school and just to collaborate and work together. So I really found those incredibly valuable. So yeah, I was very pleased with how conferences went.
We also wanted to highlight some student experiences that have been taking place in the buildings. In elementary school, our 4th graders participated in the kindness retreat. We also had our 3rd graders attend a play in Rochester. I know in the high school, Mr. Liderman was the 10th graders who attended the STEAM Summit.
Yep, that was last Tuesday. I'm looking over at Ms. Swanson, hopefully she remembers. Yeah, juniors, yes, believe it was last Tuesday, yeah, so we had that on Tuesday and then Terrence Talley on Wednesday. The STEAM Summit has changed a little bit over the years to where it used to be more of a middle school based activity, but really this year the focus was more career based for students that are exploring that field, and thrilled that we were able to bring our juniors to that program last week.
And last but definitely not least, we wanted to also recognize Mrs. Lang. The 3 of us have had the opportunity to work with Mrs. Lang in a variety of previous 2 years down as a 5th grade teacher in elementary school. Now she's doing great things in the 6th grade. She also has done a lot of extras. Math Masters is one thing that jumps out to my right away, that she kept that going for many years in elementary school, and it's been a lot of success for her there as well.
Just a quick note on that, if that's okay. I think Ms. Lang, how many years? 26? Did I hear 26 years? And it's been refreshing for me to work with Marit. Her excitement and enthusiasm for coming into the school year and working with our students. And I know it's 26 years, but it's kind of a first year for you, really.
Yeah, very much so.
Transitioning to the middle school, but to work with our wonderful staff and Mark just being one example of that, and I've done this for a number of years, and to still be thrilled and excited to come into work each and every day. It not only helps our kids, it helps your administrator as well. Thank you very much.
Another feather in Mrs. Lang's cap is the modern classroom project that we rolled out to some of our staff. Even though in her 26th year here at Triton, she took a leap of faith and, completely finished that program and utilizing some new ideas right in the classroom. 26 year at Triton, but did I read 35 in education? That's amazing.
In Florida and 6 substitute teaching. That was back in the day when you had 300 applicants for one job. And I didn't want to drive more than 30 miles when we started living in Kenyon.
We have a few pictures, Mr. Schlichting, of a couple different things. Of course, as Mr. Black mentioned, we had the section championship. We had a lot of our students, elementary, middle, and high school, attending those games. I know the night in Janesville, there was a good student section there, and even that first round of the state playoffs in New Prague, we had a lot of students in the stands, which was great for our culture around here. These are pictures of the kindness retreat. We do that over at Faith Lutheran, the same venue that we use for our courage retreat in 8th grade. And I would guess even
The sophomore respect retreat will be the first week in December, and it's ran through the same group, Youth Frontiers.
The Courage Retreat is just a couple days after that, I believe, on December 8th, so that's coming up as well.
These are pictures of I mentioned the 3rd grade went to a play in Rochester. They represented our school very well and they had a lot of fun. It's definitely something that we're gonna look to try to get some more groups over to the Rochester for the play. Oh, choir concert.
Band choir concert, our middle school group, they had a concert a week ago. Obviously, we're to that time in the school year. One thing to note, you can see the students on the sides and on the front, they brought everybody back together for one grand finale at the end. Concerts are obviously a great time to showcase what's going on at our school. Also, logistically challenging at times. So after being at this event, I thank our band and choir directors for a great experience and continuing to work together to make those transitions and times when students are not performing more efficient and effective for a better overall experience. So excited to continue to work with those folks on those items.
And the last slide here is just showing off. This is Blake again.
Young writers, young author.
We did, yeah. So the middle school, we sent 22 students to the Young Writer, Young Author conference in Rochester. And that incorporated like an art component too. So our students were really excited about that. And when they came back, they of course shared with everybody what they got to do. And so I have many more that want to go next year. So I think this will be an event that just, yeah, continues.
And this was the first year we sent students to that. I went to an SSC meeting last year and they were kind of going through the different programs and somebody reached out to me and said, do you know we do this? You haven't had any students come to it. So talked with the admin team and was happy to see that we're now represented in that group because it's a very unique experience. They have an author that actually comes in and works with the students. So it's a pretty neat day.
They loved it. They
Cool.
loved it. Yeah.
Any questions?
Yeah, I like the format of it. We were a little scared when all three. Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you. Superintendent's report.
Just a few things. We met with Lee Matson today, just looking for some ideas and some things we can do with the crosswalk. It's not an ideal situation, and what can we do to make it better? And whenever you're looking at trying to do things differently, it costs money. So looking at different grants. So Lee's going to look at some different things. Deputy Dave has been talking with the county folks, so looking at some options, and then we discussed some things that we could maybe do differently as well. Not real comfortable, originally we talked about doing a crossing guard, but after the 5 of us have done it enough times, not really comfortable sending younger kids out there. So looking at maybe doing something with older students, and having them work in tandem, because one of the things we talked about is it would be good to have people coming from both sides versus just one. That far lane, it's like cars will stop, but then cars will want to go around it and not realize that there's still people that are crossing or what's going on. So just looking at different ways to try to make that safer. So that happened today. Door alarm, the door alarms are done. We're just now getting the programming. When do you want the alarms to go off? When do you not want them to go off? That kind of thing. So Custom is working with Chris on that. But that should be up and running shortly. Spanish immersion program info. I will put that in the update. I didn't send it today. I'll actually send it tomorrow. I wanted to talk about it first. I met with this company that does consulting, and they do have a quote that they've given us, and they would actually help us hire a teacher to do the Spanish immersion. That's the trickiest part about doing a Spanish immersion program. So finding a company that, there are 3 different people that have worked in that company that have been administrators in Spanish immersion programs. I do believe that that's something that we can do in our district that would draw kindergarten and students to our district. I think it's something that we would offer that is different than what a lot of other area schools are offering. The only one that I know that currently does it in our area other than Rochester, but Pine Island does it. But it's a little bit different. And I've, after talking with these folks, I think that they could really help us develop a program like that, that would be a program that would help attract students. And I just throwing that out there, and I'll share the quote with you, and you can look through that, what that all entails. And then lastly, just negotiations, finished up with the 2 big groups, just have admin directors and district office left. So, good to have the other 2 done and moving forward. I've got information from the other groups, so it's just a matter of finalizing some of that and moving forward. Any questions? All right. Anything else? Anybody? Next meeting is December 18th. 6 o'clock here. If nothing else, we'll make a motion to adjourn. And I'll look at like a study session, maybe in January, February timeframe. Whenever I'll try and find when there's a longer time between board meetings, because one of those we have early. So or is it both of them? Yeah, so I'll put one in the middle and we can go from there.
Make motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.